adventurers. Today we're going to be doing our March wrap-up, and we'll jump right in.
So in March I read a total of 10 books.
I read a total of 5 books.
So the first book that I finished in March was Bellmaker by Brian Jakes. I have a review for this up, so I'm not really going to talk about it much here. The second book that I read in March is How to Be a Pirate, which is book 2 in the How to Train Your Dragon series by Cressida Cowell. And I really enjoyed it. It was super fun to listen to. I don't think I enjoyed it quite as much as the first one, but it was just a fun, light, easy to listen to book, so yeah.
The first book that I completed in March was Shadow Academy, the first book in the Young Jedi Knight series by Kevin J. Anderson and Rebecca Moista. This is the first Star Wars book I've read aside from Rogue One. This is Legends, and I thought it was fantastic, and I'm really eager to read more of the series.
The next 2 books that I listened to were Infinity Blade Awakening and Infinity Blade Redemption. These 2 books are both novellas written by Brandon Sanderson, and they are set in the Infinity Blade world, which is, or was, a series of 3 video games or phone mobile games, and just fantasy, kind of futuristic Earth fantasy. The books were really good. I really enjoyed them. Brandon Sanderson did a great job with bringing that world to life through the story and expanding on what we already knew from the games. So those were super fun to listen to, and yeah.
The next book I finished in March was Dust by Cara Swanson. I loved Dust. It's probably my top book of 2021 so far, and I did do a review on this, so if you're interested in hearing more of my thoughts, feel free to check that out.
I also listened to The Hound of Baskervilles by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This is a Sherlock Holmes mystery, one of the most famous ones, I'd say, and I enjoyed it. It took a little bit to get into it. I wasn't used to the writing style. I haven't read a lot of Sherlock Holmes, and so I wasn't really used to it, but once I got into it, I really, really enjoyed it. I also read The Monster in the Hollows, which is book 3 of the Wingfeather Saga by, Andrew Peterson. This one, I didn't love. It was okay, and there was a lot of really great things to it, especially right at the end. There was some great themes that were brought out, but there was also a lot of tropes and stuff that I didn't like used throughout the entire story, and I just didn't love that book.
So the other book I completed in the month of March was a nonfiction that I've been reading for a while now, and I probably won't be sharing my nonfiction reads on here, but I did complete that one, and it's nice to be able to cross it off my list.
So I also read The Icebound Land by John Flanagan. This is book 3 in the Ranger's Apprentice series, and I didn't like it. There were some things that were okay. For the most part, it was really, really slow, really, really boring, and I like slow, but this was just not good to me. I didn't enjoy it at all. I hope other people love it, but it was not for me. I also listened to The Great Divorce by C.S. Lewis. This is a standalone book, I believe. I'm not sure about that, and it's a C.S. Lewis book. I can't really describe it very much because I didn't really understand it until like the last 2 pages, or I don't know. It felt like 2 pages, but I listened to it, so I don't know how many it was. Basically, the end of the book is when I actually understood what was going on. It was pretty interesting. I'm not sure that I agree with everything that was in it, but it was pretty interesting.
So the next book I read in March was Broken Arrow by Azaria M.J. Durant. A friend recommended this to me, and I was so pleased. It was a lot of fun to read. It was one of those books where you're reading along and you're reading along, and you may say something like, oh, I'll stop after this chapter. And then you keep reading and you don't realize that you've turned the page over like 3 chapters, you know? It just draws you in an incredible way. I really love this one. It's a debut novel for the author, and it was really, really enjoyable.
So then I also read The Black Prism by Brent, which this is book 1 in the Lightbringer series, and I really, really enjoyed it. There was a lot of great stuff in it, including the magic system, which is light-based, and I absolutely love light-based magic systems. For some reason, they work so well for me, and they're just so interesting. This is an adult fantasy, so there are some more adult themes and events that happen, and so you kind of have to know that going in, but for the most part, it was just a really well-written book that was pretty interesting, pretty good. And the last book that I finished in March was The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is the last part of the Lord of the Rings book, and I absolutely love this story. This third part, this third book, has always been my favorite of the three, and it's just seeing how that story ends and seeing the falling action of that story is so incredible. Seeing how he wrote it, it's just done absolutely perfect.
And the last book I completed in March was Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I listened to this on audiobook and I loved it. I thought it was a great read. It's definitely something I want to add to my bookshelf. It was a shorter read and I really enjoyed it.
Thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed this March wrap-up. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys read in March. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and follow us on Instagram. We post videos every Monday and Thursday. Thanks for watching. Stay warm.